Okay, Arjisa, so I am going to have the pleasure to look at what you're doing and cooking and cutting, but I'm really, really intrigued with the veg. Could you tell me what's
Okay,
all that?
right, so I'm going to find the English names now. So this is a gourd, um, maybe a snake gourd, I'm not too sure, but this is going to go into the avial. This is aubergine. There's different types of aubergines, I've just gone for the big fat one. We're going to use some pumpkin, and this is elephant yam, chena in Malayalam, or sudian I think it's also called. We've got some carrots, you're familiar with that. And this is green plantain. This is a different type of green plantain, ash plantain I think it's called. This is a bit more tastier. These are drumsticks. You don't eat the outside. It's the lovely thick flesh that you eat from the inside. They're going to be chopped up.
There, it looks like cucumber, like dry one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite fleshy. It's quite fleshy on the inside. It's got seeds, and then we will peel that off because that's not quite palatable. And you don't eat the outside anyway. It's actually the inside flesh is very good for you. There you go, nice little fat one, and this one's quite pink inside as well. It's new to me. And onions. I'm going to leave the potatoes out because I think we've got quite a lot of starchy vegetables, and then we're going to use these beans as well, guava beans and chili, and then the sauce with that will be coconut, garlic, cumin, etc. So I think I better get chopping. Just peel that back as you're cutting those. There you go. And then we're just going to halve them.
So for this, those kind of veg, do you go to specific shops in
Yes.
Redbridge?
Yes, there is. We're fortunate. When I first moved here 25 years ago, I did keep going back to East Ham to go to Sheelan's on the high street. But we're fortunate now. We've got a couple of really good Tamil shops, Sri Lankan shops. So yeah, so you wouldn't get this in Tesco's or Sainsbury's. So these vegetables, aubergine, I guess of course you will, but all of this is from a specialist Asian shop. So I have cut up the bananas, green bananas, and the aubergine, the pumpkin, the carrots, the long gourd, and we've also cut in lengthways the drumstick, and I'm just chopping up the surian, and then we're good to go. The thickness is about that. This does take a little bit longer than a potato to cook. Usually I would add potato, but I think we've got quite a lot of starchy vegetables. So we've cut up all the vegetables now, so we're going to just layer this beautiful array of vegetables into a deep pan. It doesn't really matter how it goes in. Just make sure it's all in there, that's what's important. And the aubergines and the bananas are already in water, otherwise they will start to discolour. This does cook down actually, and the other thing is when you make this you can't really make a smaller portion because most of the vegetables are there. And then we have the beans that goes on top, and then sliced onions, green chilies. I'm not cutting them because I think they're fine as they are, and about half a glass of water to help it all cook. And that will take about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to actually make the sauce that goes on top to help it. So Samira, I did promise you a couple of Keralan fish curries, and even though I can't make the 50s, I definitely want to try to get you to taste 3 of them. So this is fresh anchovies. These are like little fat juicy ones. Often a lot of people use the ones we get in tins, and it does have a bone in there, but I'm going to leave that in. And we're going to make a traditional netoli pira, which is just coconut, garlic, ginger, green chilies, and then we're going to rub that in, and it will literally cook in its own kind, the water that comes out from here. So it's kind of steamed, again very healthy, like the avial we're making. And then I'm going to make another Keralan tradition, which is fish molly, and for that I'm going to use kingfish, really nice lovely pieces of kingfish. And again, it's a delicate curry because this is going to be just cooking in coconut milk. And here we have yellow pomfret. And this I'm going to make into a tangy, spicy Keralan fish curry. So you're going to try 3 different varieties today. So we're going to cook this in a traditional earthenware pot. It's called a chatti. So it's not like the tagine that you're probably used to, but nearly there. So the fresh anchovies are just going to go in the bottom. And to this we're going to add the mixture of coconut, ginger, garlic and green chilies. They go in. And to that I'm going to add, this is dried, for the tanginess, this is dried star fruit, really tangy, and also some dried tamarind. So that's it. So I'm just going to give that a little mix, and then it's going to just steam for about 15 minutes. If you need more tanginess, then we can add some lemon. So I'm going to add some salt to this as well, but I'm going to put this on now. Okay, so the avial or the mixed vegetables have had about 15 minutes and it's coming on really nicely. So I'm just going to make the coconut paste that will now go on top of that. For the sauce that's going to go on top of the vegetables, I've got about a cup of fresh coconut. This is freshly grated coconut. You can use dry, it's absolutely fine, it tastes the same, but I prefer to use the fresh. And depending on how brave you want to be, remember there's already a few chilies in there. I'm going to add about 4 cloves of garlic, and then about 3/4 of a teaspoon of tamarind powder, not turmeric. Coconut, garlic and green chilies are in there. We're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of whole cumin, and then to help combine this, about 1/2 cup of cold water, and then we're going to blitz it. It's not going to be completely smooth, so quite coarse. That's what we need for the avial.
That's it, ready?
This is the consistency of the paste, the coconut paste, and then we're just going to pour that in. And then it just needs just a good mix, and then I'm going to put the lid back on though for another 2-3 minutes. So that the rawness of the garlic and the cumin will just get cooked out, and then we'll finish this off with a couple of spoons of yogurt. So this is coming on nicely, and what I did forget to add here, Samira, is our turmeric powder. So we need about 1/2 teaspoon of that. I'm just going to give that a slight mix, because one of the things you mustn't do with fish is to stir it while it's cooking, but unfortunately for this it needs a slight mix, but it's getting there. Looking really yummy. So Samira, we're going to make the second of the fish dish, which is fish molly. Again, this is quite a traditional dish of Kerala, and it's eaten with rice but also with bread, and it's a delicate fish curry. So for this we're using quite a lot of green chili, finely shredded and cut ginger, garlic, and I've just got white and red onion here. I've introduced you to the kingfish earlier anyway. We've got a tin of coconut milk and tomatoes, and these are frozen baby tomatoes from my allotment that we're going to use today. Usually the fish is slightly fried in salt and a little bit of pepper and turmeric, But because I want to try and keep it healthy, I'm not going to fry it. It's going to go straight into the sauce. Okay, let's get started. And so that's done. So we're going to add just 2 big tablespoons of yogurt. And just give that a quick stir. And to this you can use the tempeh, which is mustard, onions, curry leaves and dried chili in some coconut oil. So I'll do that in a bit, and then your avial is ready. It really is that simple. So we've got some oil heating up in this pan, and I'm just going to add some cumin seeds to this. So that should start to brown. Followed by some dried red chilies. In they go. Curry leaves. And then I'm going to quickly go in with the ginger, garlic, in no particular order. They can all follow each other in. There you go. And then I'm going to add some salt to this. I'm going to add some rock salt. And then we're just going to let this soften down before we go on to the next stage. That'll take about 5 minutes with the lid on. Samira, this has started to soften quite nicely. I don't want it to brown. I just want it to soften. I'm going to add almost 3/4 of a spoon of cracked black pepper. And then in go the allotment tomatoes. And again, they just need another 5 minutes. And what the tomatoes will do is just bring the temperature down, so the onions are not going to brown, but they will just all sweat and cook down together. So I'm going to just put the lid back on them. So Samira, to get some tanginess, we can add lemon juice, but I'm going to add those dried star fruit that I dried myself and bought it back from Kerala. And as you can see, these are all cooking down nicely. So I'm going to introduce 1 tin of coconut milk.
And the dried product, what's the name of it?
It's star fruit. You know the tangy star fruit, the green fruit we can get in the supermarket here?
Right.
So it's just that dried. So we're just going to give this 5 minutes and then we'll put the fish in. Okay, so Samira, as you can see, it's thickened and it's changed colour because I have now added some of the dry tamarind as well. And the kingfish I've kind of cut in half. And they're just going to go in, and once this is added, it's going to take literally just 15 minutes for it to cook. I also added a little bit more of the black pepper, so I thought it just needed a teeny bit more, and then we can finish this off with some lemon juice in the end. So we're just going to leave this for 15 minutes and then fish molly will be ready. Okay, so for the next curry, for the golden pomfret, I'm cheating a little bit because I want you guys to also use it. This is dried coconut and it's already got spices in, and some of you will know this as chamandi podi. So that is already coconut roasted with quite a bit of spice in. This is really good to use if you want to cut some time. And I'm using chili powder, coriander powder, turmeric and black pepper, so in there all go. Hurry up, everyone's going in. And then to that I'm going to add a few green chilies, 2 pieces of ginger sliced, and just a few of the curry leaves. And I'm just going to blend this up. So I'm adding a spoonful of coconut oil, and that's going to melt in no time. There you go. And to that, as it melts, because the coconut oil is what will flavour the avial and also fish molly in a bit. And you can use the usual mustard seeds, but I'm going to again go in with cumin seeds and a couple of dry red chilies and curry leaves. It should all do its thing. Can you hear it all popping? Lovely. And that will just go on top of our avial. And that's it, it's done, ready to serve. Samira, that's done. Okay, Samira, so we're doing the pomfret curry with the dry coconut. So the coconut oil is just melting and I'm going to add the cumin seeds. And they're starting to pop. So the red dry chilies, fresh green curry leaves. Just give that a quick stir. So I don't want any of this to burn, and the oil is hot enough even though we've got little bits melting, because you can hear it all sizzling away. So this is the consistency, what I blended earlier. So the dry coconut, the spices, ginger, garlic and chili. And we're going to let this come to a boil, and then the fish will go in, again 10 minutes and you've got a fish curry. This is how easy it is. So I don't want anyone to be put off making fish curry. You can make it really, really quickly. Okay, Samira, this is boiling along nicely. It's really thick now. So to that I'm going to add the allotment tomatoes, and at the same time we can go in with our golden pomfret. And I added some of that dry tamarind we used earlier, and that's it. So this just needs literally 5-10 minutes, and then we'll have a delicious curry. And then we're ready to serve and taste. So Samira, this is the third fish curry that we made today. So this is the golden pomfret in the dry coconut spices. It's still bubbling away. This is a favourite. These are all favourites that I like, so that's why I wanted you to try and taste today. So we have yellow pomfret and coconut, red curry, so it's dry coconut. We have fish molly, really simple to make. You saw how quick that was with kingfish. We have avial, which is a medley of vegetables, and we have in coconut sauce. And we have the fresh anchovies, the Natholi pira, again, a very quick dish. So we've done this in what, an hour and a bit, and that's with all the talking as well. So I want you to try them now, and I hope you really like it. And I want you all to try it at some time. Please don't be frightened. You can use any fish you like. There's no right and wrong. Taste as you go along and change the taste to suit your palate. Thank you.